But first to an upcoming hearing in the Queensland Civil and Administrative Tribunal, which could well prove a test case for both science and freedom of speech when it comes to gender identity and gender medicine. The case involves a transgender woman, formerly Adrian, now Jennifer Buckley, who has undergone medical treatment to breastfeed a newborn son born from sperm before Adrian transitioned to Jennifer. However, former Australian Breastfeeding Association volunteer counsellor Jasmine Sussex brought into question through a series of posts the safety of Adrian, now Jennifer, using hormones to induce lactation so they might be able to breastfeed the infant, referring to it as dangerous and experimental. Jennifer Buckley claims the posts were discriminatory, which has now set off a legal battle culminating in a tribunal hearing set down for next year. Joining me now, the woman at the centre of this battle, breastfeeding expert Jasmine Sussex. Thank you for your time. I think I spoke to you, a long time ago now. Distant memory, it was in the throes of COVID, when you were really speaking out about some practices and the loss of women's language, female language at the Australian Breastfeeding Association. And here we are now as this debate has moved on. You've got 15 years experience as a breastfeeding expert. And what prompted your response here, your comments, were about the best care for the baby.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So everything we know about breastfeeding is in the context of that mother-baby relationship. And, you know, we understand that some men have a gender identity that I'm not exactly sure what that means, but relates to their feeling that they've got some kind of a woman gender essence or inner feeling, but that really has nothing to do with breastfeeding. So we just need to understand that they're two different things. So gender identity is a feeling, maybe a deeply held feeling, and breastfeeding happens in female bodies. Pregnant mothers begin preparing to be able to breastfeed, and then when they give birth, they can breastfeed the baby. So it really...
It all happens in concert with the pregnancy. And of course, in this case, Jennifer was Adrian. Adrian donated sperm to create this baby.
Yeah.
He then became Jennifer. He married someone. It was that woman with his sperm that created the child. The stuff that I have read, even with the hormones, Jennifer wasn't able to make enough milk for the baby. And that's a real issue. And I know from friends of mine who've had children and they've struggled to lactate adequately, that can be a thriving issue for the baby. The baby cannot develop as it should. Was that a concern as well?
Yeah, it certainly was. And I mean, this individual's been talking about this online for a number of years and has done media about it, written articles about it, posted, you know, thousands of times, I would say, on their various Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, everywhere. And, you know, even they admit that it was a very short-lived affair. So we just really need to ask, why are we doing this and how can it be in the best interests of the baby? So
am I out of bounds here if I say that this was something they wanted to do just to basically affirm how feminine they were, that they could breastfeed? It wasn't really about what was in the best interest of the child. Is that your professional view?
Well, but based on what we know, I mean, when this individual did this, there was one case study and it was in the transgender health literature, and it was very much about affirming and bonding that gender identity. So that's all we have to go on, you know. And
but assuming the baby's bonding with its birth mother, and assuming the baby's bonding with the woman who carried him the child in utero,
yeah,
I guess, you know, viewers at home were a bit gobsmacked by all of this. It seems really experimental. And what do all of those hormones in this milk made by a biological man, Jennifer can call herself whatever she likes, but it's a biological male body, what does that sort of hormone-heavy milk do to a days-old infant?
Yeah, well, we just don't know. And, you know, even some of the more moderate endocrinologists, who are the ones that are helping these men to do this, they say that it's a supplementary feeder, you know, or the second feeder. And it's like, well, if it can only ever be a starvation quantity, how can that be considered to be in the best interest of the baby? We just don't have the evidence that it's safe. And, you know, we really need to have a conversation about this where volunteers don't get threatened with years-long legal action.
Let's just quickly go to that, because you're going to end up in the tribunal.
Yeah.
How far are you prepared to take this?
Well, I don't really feel I have a choice not to continue with it. You know, it's important that we have a conversation about the best interests of babies and mothers, and, you know, tell the truth about what the science says to us about how breastfeeding works in a female body, in a mother's body. And we just need to, you know, reinstate boundaries around, you know, male transgenderism, which has this really, I think, unethical, unhealthy kind of desire to experience, you know, what is a biological process of women and mothers. It's not for men, I'm sorry. You know, I don't make the rules. Mother Nature makes the rules, and we just need to be able to look at the evidence and make a decision rather than just allow.
And bring it back to not theory, not ideology, but bring it back to hard medical, biological fact.
Yeah.
I guess that's where we are.
Yeah.
Well, more strength to your arm. I know it's not been easy. Thanks for joining me.
Okay, thanks.